Make sure that you are promoting yourself. Make sure you are tagging every single one of those event spaces. And because social media is far reaching. It's crazy.
Благослови моих братьев, благослови наши руки. Мы в поисках больших денег, мы в деле круглые сутки. Благослови
Out radio show, man, they everywhere.
Благослови моих братьев, благослови моих братьев, благослови наши руки. Мы в поисках больших денег, мы в деле круглые сутки. Благослови моих братьев, благослови моих братьев. Я скрутил себе потолще, я выдыхаю
The best jam I have ever eaten.
Oh, wow.
I have that as a testimonial.
И не играй со мной свою роль. Со мной молодые братья. Мы возьмем котлеты наличных себе на завтрак. Сегодня-завтра, неважно как я. You, эй, yeah. Благослови моих братьев, благослови наши руки, мы в поисках больших.
Alright, y'all, we're tuning in for another episode of Make That Radio Show. I'm your host, Andreas, and to my left, to y'all's right, I have Paige Reeves, who is, I just thought about the Superman thing he said the other day. It was hilarious. That's your husband, who is a market manager for Napier Heights Food Co-Op that, takes place on Thursdays from 3 to 6 p.m. at Tatnall Square Park. So if y'all ever, want to get some fresh produce, crafts, things of that nature, meet a lot of local vendors and want to support, that would be the place to go. But thank you for coming on. Let's see, so let's get into as far as where did your love for, community activism start?
Probably from a very young age. I grew up fairly poor, so feeding people has always been my passion, making sure that they had food, because I didn't always have that. And so that's just something that I've always wanted to make sure happened. And then Andrea approached me about this, and I was like, absolutely.
So with no hesitation.
So absolutely. Well, there was some hesitation because I've done managerial things before, but nothing just so free floating. It was something I could create and make essentially my own.
Yes.
But I also value your opinion and Andrea's opinion and Lacey's opinion too. So all of that, because you all bring something to the table for all of that. But spearheading that has been, I don't know what I'm doing every single day of the week.
Well, you're doing a lot, and I think you're accomplishing great things. So tell us, why is it so important to have a food co-op / market in, the Napier Heights area?
Yeah, so Napier Heights it's a food desert, and I hate the word desert because that implies that it's naturally occurring. It's a neighborhood that experiences food apartheid because this was definitely orchestrated over time. If you look at the history of those neighborhoods, Napier Heights and Pleasant Hill, you will see that the interstate was put through Pleasant Hill, and it divided a once thriving Black community. And so with all of that, a lot of the corner stores and things that neighborhood supported, and they supported the neighborhood, it was a very cohesive cycle. They dried up and they left because we had them. The mom and pop stores were no longer viable because we had Walmart. All of the bigger business and politics of just that. And so in Tatnall Square Park, we touched 3 neighborhoods. We touched Bells Hill, we touched Napier Heights, and a little bit of Pleasant Hill. And so we're able to serve 3 different communities right there. And that's great because all 3 of those communities were affected when the Pioneer Kroger closed. 6 years ago now?
Has it been that? I feel like it's been longer.
It may be longer. I don't even know.
I remember when
time is relative.
Exactly. Time is relative right now. I remember when it started to diversify and more immersive students, and it became more of a blended Kroger. Then it seems like at the height of, it being diverse, all of a sudden it's just taken away.
Nope, we can't be doing this. And it's just the oddest thing because I'd always seen that Kroger as, that was one of the best Krogers, honestly. As someone who didn't shop there regularly because I lived in South Macon or North Macon my entire life. So once again, when Andrea invited me to do these things, I wanted to pay close attention to what the community was saying. And I think that serving the community and getting their opinions and what they need and what they want in their community is of the utmost importance. Yes, we need fresh fruits and vegetables. Yes, we need those arts and crafts. We need that cultural center. We need all of that. And I think right there in the park is a great place to do that. It's walkable. You get to walk around the entire park. Mercer can come over, and there's so much there that can happen.
So what's been some of the challenges and letting people know that one, there's a resource available. 2, external things that is beyond your control, or internal things that you can control.
I'm gonna start with the internal part. Internal is me just, I guess, underestimating myself. I did not know that I could do this. I honestly did not. These are I've not really ever run a business before. So this is something I'm a baker. I'm a baker and I'm a fiber artist. This is not something I've ever done before. I know how to maintain spreadsheets and things like that, but aside from that, I'm just this is out of my depth. So I'm sitting here and I'm sort of learning to swim in the deep end, I guess, as it were. And but I get to make all these not make all these people, coordinate all these people into one place, and they let me. And they're okay with it.
Exactly. I was gonna say,
I have a lot of oh my God, are you okay with this happening with me? And I just I didn't know I could be the boss. I'm a parent. I didn't know I could be the boss. And then external is external is a lot. We face a lot of racism being Black led, and I, being white, had no idea it existed in that extent until I started becoming more involved. And it was very shocking and very hurtful. People would treat people as such just because of the color of their skin. These are some of the most learned people that I know. They have degrees upon degrees. And you would treat them the way that you do on first glance. And it startled me. And I think as a white person, I take not receiving a lot of that racism for granted. And so external, I can't control that, but we can rise above, and we can make sure that we coordinate with people who are not racist, who are not bigoted, and that in turn will help that community grow and thrive.
Have you, because I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to touch on your perspective of fighting racism and cultural differences, and how people strategically put barriers around others. As a person who is being aligned and allied, do you receive any criticism like on your end, or does it really, I don't know, has it affected you?
I think I take it more personally. That people like these are not just my coworkers, but they're my friends, but also they're human beings. And I was talking to Andrea the other day, and I didn't know about colorism. As I'm always learning. I didn't know about that, and I was like, I could never think about treating any human being as less of a person or less of a human being. So for me, racism has always been, I guess, a type of colorism. And so, like, I'm going to see your color, but I'm going to appreciate it, and I'm going to acknowledge that you are, like, that's the first thing we all see is our skin color. You see my tattoos, you see my skin color. I see your color of your skin, and because you don't have tattoos, but so I like, unless I am bringing up the fact that we are black led, I am not as affected as others are who happen to be black, and so I guess I'm not as affected, but I take it personally when I see that my friends and people that I care about are, and humans in general, honestly, are affected and do experience that.
So what's been some of the most rewarding things that you've been able to experience thus far, especially with you being able to, have such a vast input in the direction of how the market goes, because, again, you are the market manager.
Coordinating everybody's opinions is, that one's interesting. What was the question again?
Oh, with something that you've experienced, positive.
Okay, yeah.
Considering that, you get to put your input.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, I don't know. No, absorb. But yeah, coordinating people's opinions. They like that is very positive for me because I get to see all that input. I get to see it, and then I get to go, okay, this is what everybody wants. But also, some of the most rewarding things, we did the pop-up gym with Making Mental Health Matters this past weekend in June. And we got to give out a literal half-ton of vegetables, and that one was really fun. I think that one was the most rewarding to date thing, is I got to go, hey, come get all of this, and you don't have to pay a thing. So we got to use our powers for good, and I think that one's really fun. I got to drive a big truck. So I got to drive a big truck. But no, really just working and interacting with the community is super rewarding for me. I want to know how the community wants us to grow, because it's while I manage the market, it is the community's market. It is the community's co-op. Like, we're going to be rolling out food bags, so you can pay for that with your SNAP benefits. It will be all produce initially, and so we're rolling that out. We're trying to get I'm trying to figure out how to manage the back end of that as well as the front end. And I don't have any of that on paper yet, but like it's in my head. It's in Messenger. It's in these little things where I go, okay, I need to put this down somewhere so I can find it. But I don't have any of it on paper yet, because probably if I put it on paper, it becomes a little bit more real. And I started this in August last year. So
coming upon a year.
Yeah, it's been slow, but I think slow organic growth is healthier growth. It takes its little dips and everything occasionally, but I think we're going to grow healthily, and it's going to be a thriving market. And,
Yeah, I see it as that. I just think, I think it's catching, some momentum and things of that nature, and is more things that you're bringing to the table with the ideas and stuff like that that's going to help push and,
Yeah.
So, I see it getting there. I see,
Yeah.
I remember Andrea saying the vision that she wanted, like the one that's in, was it the cab or something?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Like Peachtree?
Something
Like a
that.
destination. I know she wants a
Or-
destination market.
Uh-huh.
And I do too. Like, the thing is, we have
But
aligned with
she wants it big.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and she's going to keep, making sure
We're
that.
gonna do
Yeah,
it.
on
We're
the
gonna
back
do
end it is
it.
funded and,
Yeah.
supported and stuff too, so.
We're gonna do it. We've aligned with that on so many levels. I feel that
I think she said
finally.
grants or something.
Yes.
That's it, yeah.
Grant Park. Yeah.
Grant Park,
Yeah, that's in Grant Park.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have that potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like it's midday or midweek, but I think we could do it.
Yeah, I think so too. So like, how do you balance all the things that you do for the market? Because I'm like, you're coordinating with the vendors, you're attracting new vendors, you're looking at different ways to bring more services, and then you're also doing stuff outside of just the market itself. The market is collaborating with other different partnerships and stuff like that, and then you're doing like the other stuff, like where you go to Booker T and all that, whatever. So, yeah.
Coordinating? What's that? Google Calendar has been my lifesaver. Like literally, I just put it in my Google Calendar. As soon as I get any inkling of it, as soon as I get any idea of what day it's going to be, it's there, because my days are filling up fast. And like you said, I do outreach for the Booker T. Washington Center. I teach the knitting there on Mondays and Tuesdays, and in September I'll be at the library on Tuesdays at night.
The Washington Memorial Library.
So, and that's all with Making Mental Health Matters.
Okay.
So like it just makes it so we're talking about bringing in like Napier Heights Food Co-op within Making Mental Health Matters, simply because like I'm already there.
Yeah. I'm like, might as well,
I'm already there.
merge.
And that just, it opens up a lot more avenues for us as well, to make the market more viable. I think we will be able to find more vendors as well, because we're always looking for more. I mean, we're trying to serve 3 neighborhoods, like, because I don't want to exclude anyone. I mean, simply because we are Napier Heights Food Co-op in name, our funding is for Napier Heights and Pleasant Hill, but I really think we could also do Bells Hill too, because I mean, it's like right there. And like I said, that park touches those 3 neighborhoods, plus Mercer, plus Alex too, when they're in session. So like the potential there is huge. But we're getting there, and coordination is it's me looking at a bunch of different emails and going, okay, when can I do this? Because I do have a family, and I homeschool them, and that gets involved. But they are also more than willing to come and support me, and it's also a bit of their dream too. So yeah.
How does that look like from, what I'm saying, your close circle or your network of, here it is, you were basically handed this task, what I'm saying, with like, full like authority on stuff, as long as it, it aligns with the, the mission and the vision. I don't see where there's any pushback for that. And for you not to like have, I guess, what I'm saying, that robust responsibility in that capacity before.
Yeah.
How did they receive that on their end? It was like, hey, I'm going to, be market manager, and I'm going to do all this stuff.
My husband really stepped up. He has been nothing but support. And I really love that. He's like, well, you support me. Why can't I support you in your job? So like, it's been very reciprocal. and like when we went to go rent the big truck for me to drive down to Tifton, he was up he hates mornings. Hates mornings. He worked third shift for most of his life. So for him to be up at 7, we had to leave the house at 7 to pick up the truck at 7:30. Was like, that's a big thing for him. So he was there helping me do that, and he helped me drop it off. And like he keeps my kids when I'm at the market, because we homeschool, so we don't do a whole lot of other stuff. And we homeschool year round, so and it takes both of us. But like the amount of support within my circle even like has been amazing, and just the cheerleaders and sponsorship. It has been there, and it's been really good. It's I feel like I'm kind of like a butterfly. I know that sounds weird, but like these are things that nobody has ever said that, no, you can do this. I've always been told I couldn't. So it's interesting to see that all at once in my 30s.
Just being empowered and people supporting you and supporting your vision, and not like a whole lot of and I think a lot of credit to Andrea.
Yes, absolutely.
Because she loves putting people in a position. One, she'll throw you out there to the ocean. Which is hilarious. She'll just go drop you in the ocean. It's like, hey, here you go. Oh, by the way, here's a couple of life rafts or whatever. Let me know how it goes. And she's not gonna impede the process, because she has all the other different stuff that she works on. But I've come to function like that as well, though. I don't want to impede anyone's progress or like their vision, because once you bring somebody else into the fold of something, it's not yours anymore. It becomes a collective.
Yes.
And that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And especially if I'm not going to be the one, daily driving it or whatever. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I do value you guys' input though, because like, I don't know what I'm doing.
You've been figuring it out. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a learning curve for everyone, right? When it comes to this. And people have to learn that or whatever. And to I'm sure if you could go back in time or whatever, you'll be able to teach yourself stuff now that you probably didn't think you were capable of doing back then.
Yeah, we would be in a different place. We would be in a different place, entirely. If hindsight was 20/20.
Yeah. What are you looking for as far as produce or vendors and stuff like that?
So I am wanting to first and foremost, I want the community involved. So I figured the best way to do that was offer food. We partner with Wholesome Wave Georgia, who helps doubles food stamps for producer-only vegetables. And so we're looking for people who are growing their food, whether it's a garden, whether it's a farm, anything like that, honestly. Because food, we need food. There's all 3 of those neighborhoods experience food apartheid. And that means on Thursdays, that is the day they can come and get food. And eventually, like I said, we're doing the co-op bags as well. So those will be different days, because I can't do everything on Thursday. And so those will also be producer only as well. Simply because that aligns with what we're trying to do in terms of the community. I wanted to get a community garden started as well, so that if they could take what they needed from that, but also if they had an abundance, come sell it at the market. And you can reach your other communities as well. Excuse me.
No, Andrea has property for that. I just got the tax bill the other day. Oh, you said you need some water?
We need water there.
Oh.
No, I got water. No.
That should be a fun project. I can't wait to to get started on that. So tell us, like, okay, what has been like the economic impact in doing this for the community, and how vendors have, benefited and stuff?
So I try not to look at numbers too much, simply because we do have a lot of ebbs and flows, and it does look sad sometimes. But honestly, we have been trending upward, and we'll regularly do about $1,500 a market. And like in terms of food stamps, it's probably half that. So somewhere in there. It's been a little bit. So when we do the doubling, we do it with green tokens, and so those green tokens, a lot of the times, over the winter, they get saved up, and people come bringing them back. And so our produce, so we process food stamps a little bit less in the summer, actually, because they're still spending the winter's tokens, because there wasn't as many vegetables as they would like, which is, it comes with seasons. It's being a seasonal market, and so like collards are only good so many times. So we're seeing a little less in food stamp processing, but we are still seeing roughly the same numbers within like a few $100s of each other.
That's great. That's great for a market that's only like there for 3 hours. So like, retail, I'm like, that's $500 an hour.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm like, that's phenomenal. I think, or at least, retail numbers will tell you that that's phenomenal. So walk us through, like, as far as the vendors and coming out and selling, what steps do they need to take to, one, become a vendor, but then how can they become a successful vendor within the system?
Okay. So we have a website, Napier Heights Food Co-op.org. You can utilize that website. It's Napier Heights Food Co-op.org. And at the top of every page, there's a button that says Become a Vendor, and it leads you to our vendor application. Sorry, I forgot my words. It leads you to our vendor application. It's like 5 or 6 questions, possibly 7. It's not very long. We didn't want it to be long because it would lose people's attention. And honestly, as long as you are making your things, as long as you are growing your things, and as long as you have the appropriate licenses, fill it out. Fill it out. At the very least, you're on our vendor list, which opens you up to more vending opportunities. So I made it my goal to make sure that all of our vendors on our list knew about other vending opportunities. Whether it was a one-off event, whether it was a weekly market, a monthly market, whatever it was, I would let them know if it came across my desk. So in terms of that, that's one of the vendor perks. As a vendor and you're at the market, you'll never pay more than $10 for a vendor fee, and that's weekly. And if you make $0, I'm not charging you. That's bad business, in my opinion. Because I think we are allowed to be compassionate in business as well. Especially because I have grant money. But it just, I think it makes it more accessible for others, for all vendors, if we are not being overly capitalistic about it. So like there is compassion in that. Like I said, if you make $0, I'm not charging you, because you're losing money towards your business, and we're there to facilitate your business. We're there to facilitate feeding that community. If that is happening culturally, physically, like with food, which is also culturally, like however that happens, that's what we're there for. And then, what was the other part of that?
How to be a successful vendor in the in the system.
Yes. And within the system, like make sure that you are promoting yourself, promoting every single event that you're at, whether it's a storefront, whether it is another market, whether it is a one-off event, make sure that you are promoting yourself. Make sure you're tagging every single one of those event spaces. And because social media is far-reaching. It's crazy. We've only utilized social media so far in our reach, and within a year we have a fairly good amount of followers, and we're just reaching out. And but make sure you're like, if you are a vendor of ours, we do ask that you tag us so that we can share it. It also helps me as the market manager not have to go searching for your stuff, simply because I am a mama of four. I am a market manager. I'm also a knitting teacher. I'm everywhere, and I want to utilize our time as you as the vendor, me as the manager, as wisely as I possibly can, so that we can get your name out and you can get our name out. It's beneficial to both of us.
And let's see. So if I know you're looking for volunteers.
Always.
So what do they need to do if they want to become a volunteer? Anybody out there, who's passionate about serving the community?
Yes.
This is non-paid now. This is volunteer.
Yes. It's volunteer work. So if you are a college student, a high school student, somebody with a little bit of extra time on their hands that just really, that speaks to their heart, is their love language is acts of service. Please reach out to me. It is also on our website. It's also on our social media on Facebook and Instagram. We have a link for that as well. It's another little form. It does have, there's like volunteer waiver, and I think it's 4 questions. It's like 2 minutes to fill it out, and that just is so we can get in contact with you. It lets us know where you can volunteer your time, because we don't want to waste your valuable time, and we don't and we want to coordinate that as quickly as possible. So we just ask that you fill that out, and we will get in touch with you, likely via email, since that is just, it's the most non-aggressive way currently. I'm not going to call you up until I have emailed you, honestly. Simply because that I'm not going to call you up until I've emailed you, because that I would like for you to have a warning that we're going to be contacting you. And usually if I know in advance, I will be letting you guys know like a week to 2 weeks in advance, simply because we do value your time, but we also want to make the best use of it possible.
I also wanted to touch on, mentioned like when you do become a vendor, you also do the spotlights. So that's additional promo and stuff that vendors and because I get it. A lot of small businesses, very small businesses, just starting out, producers and farmers and makers. They don't necessarily have the marketing budget and all that stuff to push themselves. So this is an opportunity to partner with an organization and a system to where you can get pushed out there. And it's just little by little. So definitely, y'all do that. Let's see, you still doing the blogs and stuff? Yeah,
that's weekly. So I utilize a blog via versus a newsletter, simply because I like that format better. And I did just figure out email campaigns, so sign up for that, and it'll go straight to your inbox. And all you have to do is click the email, and it'll be in your inbox. So you don't have to go searching for it. But I do the blog, and it's basically whatever health observance or like other cultural observance there is that month. So like June, we have men's health awareness, we have Alzheimer's awareness, we have lots of awarenesses. And so I'll touch on that, but mostly it's about what's happening within the market and what we're doing in terms of outreach. So like the pop-up markets that we do, are the pop-up gyms that we do. We don't do pop-up markets yet. Wanting to.
Yeah.
But we want to do a lot of things. But the pop-up gyms that we do, all of that is within those blogs. And like a list of our produce from each of our vendors who bring produce will also be there. We have a recipe in there as well that is, so if you don't know what to do with these things, you're not a big cook or anything like that. I love to cook. That is one of my passions, is cooking and baking. And so sometimes it'll be my own personal recipes for you guys, but sometimes it is, I will source from the internet. And there's this last time, because I thought we were going to have okra. We did not have okra. That was a miscommunication on my part. So I put stewed okra in the blog, but it was from this other blog, and he has mood music with his recipes, and I just loved that.
So
it's
play this song while you're cooking.
Yeah, exactly, or while you're eating it. I don't know. And I loved how it was all set up, and so I even put his link down in there too, because that's a resource I would have liked to have. So I was going to share it with other people, and that's what is mostly in the blog. There's a map to where we're located. There's more information about Wholesome Wave, Georgia in there, and how our doubling the food stamps works. And yeah, I keep it fairly short and simple. I don't want it to be an all-day read. That's just, once again, that takes up your valuable time. And I want to get the highlights out there so that you come visit us.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think we touched on everything. Did I miss anything?
I think that's it.
Okay. So y'all make sure y'all go to Napier Heights Food Co-op.org for the website. You know, Paige Reeves. She responds on Facebook Messenger as well. So I lied.
Oh no.
But,
that's just with you.
No, that's just with me. Okay. What's your email you want them directed to? Napier Heights?
Napier Heights Food Co-op at gmail.com. It looks like Napier Heights Food Coop at gmail.com. So there's no dash in there.
So email. So if you're interested in vendor, if you want to volunteer, you want to learn more information, you want educational information. There's all sorts of stuff that is being passed out with these various markets on Thursday.
Yeah.
And just come out and check it out, support things of that nature. Go like the Facebook page and the Instagram page. Napier Heights Food Co-op, and Instagram is the same thing, isn't it?
I think it's NH Food Co-op.
NH Food Co-op, and I'll put it there on the screen so y'all can see that. But thank you, man, for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, and also sharing your story too. I think a lot of people need to be able to understand why people do what they do and see the passion behind it.
Yeah.
Paige is very passionate about this, y'all. I'm telling y'all. It's wonderful knowing that there are people in the right positions to do what they do, and Paige is one of them. So y'all make sure y'all come through on Thursdays and say hello. And if y'all have not, always go ahead and download that Make That Radio Show app and stay tuned for future interviews and more content.
Молодые братья, мы возьмем котлеты наличных себе на завтрак. Сегодня, завтра, неважно как я.